Rodgers surveying the field. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. A great read, and it's picked off.
Brandon, when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach and talked about how they wanted to begin this game offensively, they talked about their script, didn't they? 10 to 15 plays, the first 10 to 15 they had on their script. Nowhere on the script was there throwing an interception, I have to believe.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Quick hitter here, it's complete. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a second down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And a diving grab. I think he got that, yes. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Every coach we ever talk to says to his team before the game, quick start, guys. Let's get out of the gate fast. How about that? They took his lesson to heart, didn't they?
They did exactly that. A nice diving catch here on the game's opening drive. Eluding nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolded.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, you got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Pass incomplete. Back to the air on second down. It's Rodgers. And this one complete to Marcus Wheaton. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
And here's Rodgers. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. And the Bengals starting defensive unit now.
Eddie Goldman's everything you want in a defensive tackle. A run stuffer who can move upfield and rush the passer.
Rodgers will try again on second down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll bring up a third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Rodgers going to try and throw on third down. And able to find Green. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. From midfield, here's Rodgers. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's brought down after a good gain. 23 yards on the play.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
His throw caught right around the 6. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Ladarius Green, his first touchdown in a Steeler uniform. And the Steelers have taken a first-quarter lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Here's the Steelers' kick team as they'll boot this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here on first down. He completes it to Boyd. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. Give him 9 on the play, and that'll make it second and short. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
He'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. He was looking to hit his running back, Le'Veon Bell, that time. And it's third and short.
Two times. 4 down. Here we go. What? Flex round. Let's go.
They're going to look to throw. Trying to lay one up deep. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a fourth down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
They'll run it with Bell. And he'll cut it to the Le'Veon Bell. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Le'Veon Bell, 65 yards. And the Bengals are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And his kick is right through. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. Tyler Lockett now with the return. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. He's got time in the pocket, and he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. On fourth down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away.
Okay, was it a breakdown? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
This is taken at the 18. Look at the spin.
Balance.
So dangerous with a football in his hands. Call that a return of 38. And the Bengals will take over in terrific field position. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws out.
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Tyler Kroft, 44 yards. And the Bengals are in for 6. And nowadays in NFL football, you have to account for all the receivers, sure, but the tight end's such a weapon, and they prove it right there.
Oh, without a doubt. And we're seeing now the golden age of tight ends catching the football. I go back to Kellen Winslow. To me, he was the prototype of what we're seeing today. We're seeing it each and every week now.
Lockett, the return. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out come the Steelers. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Oh, look at the strength.
No.
And he's brought down after a good gain. 23 yards on the play.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackle was there right away for a loss of yardage.
And to give this time to the tailback. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. It'll be a gain of 11, and it'll be 4th down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
It takes me back to when we sat with the offense coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. They almost had it. The big D lineman nearly had an interception. Instead, it falls down incomplete. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the 2nd down incompletion. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Flushed out right. He can run for it, and he will. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it 4th down. Feeling like they're not quite in field goal range yet. They're going to go for it on 4th. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Bengals with the football to begin quarter number 2. We'll see what they'll do here as they're up against a 4th and inches. Too long for a field goal, too short to punt that in-between range, and they'll go for it on 4th down. They'll go for it with Bell. And he's able to get it to the 33, good enough for a first down. It's a gain of 9 yards. And they're able to convert here on 4th and inches.
And this is a spot where you have your offense stay out there to get those few inches. It's too long for a field goal. It's not worth punting. So this is the right decision as far as I'm concerned. And they wind up picking up the first down.
They'll look to throw now on first down. He's going to loft one deep left, and he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Tyler Boyd, 33 yards, and the Bengals add on to their lead. And that score gives them a little more separation and a bigger lead.
A little more of a comfort zone now. They can do more things defensively, maybe take a few more gambles as they try to continue to extend their lead.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that but just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
And they'll run it here. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First-level defensive line, second-level linebackers, third-level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first-level run, and it was stopped by a second-level player.
Easy.
Now Rodgers throwing on second down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Well, we saw the practice film this week. They wanted to focus on these intermediate passing plays, and it paid off there.
And they took that focus not just to the practice field, but in the film room to show the guys exactly what they wanted, what types of looks they should expect to get, and how they would beat those coverages each and every time, and it paid off on that play.
They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And 15 yards there on the catch and run.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there. Second down.
No gain on that run. And while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A great play there. 27 yards. And the Steelers have now made this a one-score game.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team.
And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. If you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
One thing that's really difficult for an offense is often identifying how to block a 3-4 defense. Well, when they're coming on a blitz, even more difficult. They're elusive targets and hard to hit.
Now whistles here before the snap, and it looks like one of the Steelers may have moved.
False start, offense. Still second down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
I'm not sure they could have had a better call there for the defense. Blitz was called, and they're setting up for a draw. When you're blitzing, you're likely to beat them to the punch because they're going to take a little extra time to set up. Talk about the offensive line. In this case, he'll get into the backfield before they can get set up.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line.
Well, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in fourth and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. And Boswell's kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So a good kick that time, and he's able to redeem himself from the previous miss.
And fortunately for him, he got the chance to do that not long after missing the first time. Sometimes a whole game goes by, and you don't get that chance at all. So you keep it with you till the next time you take the field.
And now here comes the Steelers defense once more. They had the interception last time, led to a field goal.
And kept points off the board against them as well. What a great way to end a drive. Take it away and set your offense up to put points on the board themselves.
The only thing would have been better a touchdown. Now they'll be looking to get the stop and lead to that here on the next drive.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back.
Yeah.
He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Boyd's the target, and he has it over the middle. 7 yards on the play, and they're going to face a third down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He completes it to Boyd. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. A reminder coming up at this and every halftime this season, we'll be checking in with Larry Ridley in Orlando for highlights and analysis of our first half.
LR, that's my man.
That's your guy. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it, and it took the ball off course. So 2nd and 10 here.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Out of the gun now on third down. This is Bell on the dump off. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29.
He went full scale, loose, flexible, finding a way to catch the ball in some traffic for a key first down.
Yeah, really a nice job of adjusting to the ball in the air. Not the most accurate of throws, but able to adjust and make the grab. Back to throw here. To the right side to Eric Ebron. And the drive will continue. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. They'll look to throw here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Stephon Tuitt in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35. That late in the clock second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing, man.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On second down, here's Rodgers. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
Rodgers to throw on 3rd and 1. And he locates Wheaton, complete. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
26,
On first down, Rodgers. And he will find his man on the outside. And he's brought down. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. This from 54 yards away. So we reach halftime here at our... Well, we're going to let you off a little easy there, LR. Halftime interrupted, and we are ready to get to this third quarter. This is taken near the 13. Oh, what a move. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you turned that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. A look at the offense now here coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. And last time out, another missed field goal, so maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying, call this game like we're going to put it in the end zone. Let's try and take the field goal out of it. Now, how many times do we say in this game is speed kills? And it does it in so many different ways. In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice game.
2nd down following the run. Now Rodgers on the bootleg. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football, and the Bengals grab it, and his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Now Bell hit. He lost the football.
Hey, I'm all about defense forcing play. takeaways and getting takeaways. But an interception and 2 fumbles in their last 3 offensive possessions.
Time to readjust.
Yeah, you can't just give all the credit to the defense on that.
Just 1 yard to go here on second down. Now back to throw. Flush to his right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Stephon Tuitt in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight.
That's his 2nd sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
And the athleticism on the spin move allows him to pick up the first before he's brought down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be a 2nd down. 8 yards to go here on 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Escaping the pressure right. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete. They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down.
All right, here we go.
Looking to throw. Ebron with it over the middle. And he gets it down to the 32. Give him 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, and pushed it past the 50-yard line so they thought they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They send Green to the left on his own. On play action, it's Rodgers. He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. So their woes on offense continue. That's the 2nd pick thrown here in the 3rd quarter.
And we know it was ill-advised, but that was an opportunity to help them get back into the game. Instead, he throws another interception, and now their task is even tougher.
Now a 1st down carry by Bell. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls now. You're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
2nd down to the offense in search of 6 yards. They come up with one running back. That's Bell. He's going to get the football. And he's got some space here. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Le'Veon Bell, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And thanks to the interception, the Bengals offense cashes in with 6. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Now Rodgers throwing on second down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. He showed a little athletic juke, but then the daylight quickly closed. Third down now following the completed pass. Rodgers going to try and throw on third down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Probably a little bit of a surprise call there on 3rd and inches that they decided to throw the football. And how difficult is that for an offensive line when they look up and see all those extra bodies coming at them?
Tons of bodies coming in. They get a huge sack there. It looked like he might beat that last man. He doesn't, though, but it goes as a 32-yard return. And this offense now with a short field ahead. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. The play clock's running down. On second down, it's Bell. Stays on his feet, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. That second down run, a big help. The 7 yards leaves him with just a 3rd and 3 now. And the next snap coming inside the red zone here. They come up with one running back. That's Bell. He'll get the football here. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals in possession of the football and in possession of the lead as well as we start the 4th. And his kick here is good. And that'll push the lead up to 17. And you figure with that, this game's pretty well out of reach.
It would take a heck of a comeback at this point. Being 3 scores down, I think that's too much to ask with time winding down here in the 4th.
This is taken at his 4. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
That'll go as a loss of 5. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. To throw is Rodgers. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And he locates Wheaton complete. And he coughed it up. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
They'll run it with Bell. A gain of 3, second down. And in this situation with a lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Again, it's Bell. And some space here. And a cut to the left sideline. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Le'Veon Bell with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Bengals take advantage of the turnover to put up 6. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, and it's got him in the lead. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do for this go around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
You know, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up.
Still first down.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. Hauled in by Wheaton over the middle. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 12 yards on the pickup, and that'll be good for a Pittsburgh first.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 1st down, Rodgers. And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. A wise move there, looked like nobody open, now 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it, no one got it. Rodgers will try again on 2nd down. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. Offense trying to avoid stalling out, facing a 3rd and 10. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Green with a catch left side. And he's brought down after a good gain. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Wheaton's got it. And he's brought down. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Rodgers again now. Finding time. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to... Now whistles here before the snap, but it looks like one of the Steelers may have moved.
False start, offense.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. They gotta have 6 here. It's 3rd and goal.
When you put together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
And 3 yards on the carry there as his defense holds strong and takes it to 4th and goal. Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here.
Nice job holding him out of the end zone on 3rd down, but give a big assist to the crowd. They've been with him the entire game and have spurred them on. Here in the second half, they've really helped elevate their play.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's likely not going to matter much, but at least they get themselves 3 points closer to respectability.
And I don't know that they're going to be a whole lot better about things because they've clearly been outplayed all game long. But, hey, no reason not to take the points when the opportunity presents itself.
And this is going to be snuffed out. The Bengals recover. And here comes the Steelers defense making their way onto the field. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
Time for a break. This one all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. They'll go again with Bell. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage.
And that's why you see a lot of teams that like to play 4-3 defense, especially against teams that run the ball really well, because you count on your defensive front, the tackles and the ends, to eat up the blocking in the offensive line and keep that guy in the middle clean so he can roam to the football and make a tackle. In this case, he introduced himself and said, "Hello, my name is Mike."
The offense lining up 1st and 10. This is Bell. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight. But I know that they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitcher losing a no-hitter late in the game.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39. Right over there. Right, 58.
On 3rd down, here's Bell. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together.